Now You See Me, Now You Don't is directed by Ruben Fleischer and it stars Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Dave Franco, Isla Fisher, Justice Smith, Dominic Sessa, Ariana Greenblatt, as well as co-starring Morgan Freeman and Rosamund Pike. Now, once again, the Four Horsemen have been called upon by the Eye to pull off a near impossible heist to steal the largest known diamond in the world, and to do this, they've been paired with a new trio of young blood illusionists who find themselves mixed up in all of this while trying to keep up with some legends in the magic industry. And of course, the cast for a Now You See Me movie is just ridiculously stacked for no good reason, but for a third installment in a franchise about magic on the big screen, they really nailed the casting for the new trio joining the Horsemen here. Of course, Justice Smith is probably the most well-known and recognizable out of the new trio, having done a leading role in the Detective Pikachu movie, as well as being in some smaller projects like A24's I Saw the TV Glow. And in here, he definitely does a really good performance, as well as Ariana Greenblatt, who I only personally know from Ahsoka, which she played the younger version of Ahsoka Tano in one episode. But when I searched her up and I saw that, I was like, oh wow, that's really surprising. Also really good in this movie. But I think the scene stealer in the entire cast of this movie is definitely Dominic Sessa, which is an extremely tall order for him to deliver on, but he really does, and especially being in a movie with Woody Harrelson, who can be an extremely funny, albeit awkward weirdo on screen, he definitely steals the show off every single other person in this cast. And his character Bosco has a surprising amount of depth to him, with a really layered performance by Dominic Sessa, who really makes you care about him in his lowest moments, which he does have in this movie as well as his highest moments. So there's a real effort on trying to tug on your heartstrings with this character, as well as him butting heads and trying to prove himself to J. Daniel Atlas, played by Jesse Eisenberg, and there's a lot of scenes where they go back and forth on things. But it's just really funny to me in a movie about magic that is really, really fun the entire time and extremely upbeat. You also just have this performance that's like an onion. If you peel it back, the deeper you go, the more likely you are to cry, because how good the writing is for his character and how well it's performed by Dominic Sessa. Now on to the magic, of course. This movie, I've already said it, is so much fun, and there are a lot of really great and enjoyable magic scenes, of course, but like, it is chock full of incredible magic scenes. In particular, there's this one scene where all four horsemen plus the three new recruits kind of have like a magic off, where they go back and forth doing different illusions that are like sleight of hand stuff, like misdirection, not the big spectacle stuff that's like with CGI and everything. It's more lower level, more, yeah, like I said, misdirection and sleight of hand. And it goes on for like a good 2 to 3 minutes, just literally going back and forth on different illusions, and it's so much fun to watch. There's another scene where it's like a fight scene. I don't know if you know those rooms that like make it look like you're really big or really small in them. And there's a fight scene in that that's extremely well choreographed and looks amazing to watch, because all the characters and all the objects in the room are just going like from massive to really small and just back and forth. It's pretty crazy, and just a really fun idea to think of and have done and probably filmed on the day as well. Now, I'm just going to reiterate again, this movie is so much fun. And I remember watching in the lead up to this movie different interviews with the cast, especially Jesse Eisenberg, saying this is one of the, or probably the most fun movie that he's done, and probably the most fun trio of movies that he's done in his career, because a lot of the other stuff that he does is like very deep character-based acting, of course. But in Now You See Me, he mentioned in the lead up to this movie, it's an extremely fun experience, the most fun he's had in his career. And a lot of actors say similar sorts of things about how, you know, the cast and everyone have become like such a big family after doing this movie, blah, blah, blah. And you watch it and you're like, I don't really buy that. After watching Now You See Me, Now You Don't, I fully buy that Jesse Eisenberg had the most fun of his entire career doing these movies, because I had probably the most fun in a cinema watching it. Like, it was so much fun. And look, I know I'm gushing about the movie. I genuinely don't really have anything negative to say about it, because I didn't really have any issues with anything in the movie. The runtime was about 2 hours, 153, whatever it is. But it didn't really feel like that. It felt like a half hour shorter, because the pacing was so incredibly good as well. What I will say though is, going into this movie, I was worried. I wasn't the biggest fan of Now You See Me 2. I think Now You See Me 1 is really good. Now You See Me 3 is just below Now You See Me 1 for me now, if I were to put it in some rankings. But what I was worried about was Ruben Fleischer, because he has directed Venom and he has directed the Uncharted movie. And I think now, retrospectively looking at those movies, the problem with those movies weren't the direction, it was the writing. And now, after seeing a Ruben Fleischer movie with better writers and his direction paired up with them. It was, yeah, nothing short of amazing. Before I fall into a rant about Venom and Uncharted, I'm just going to close this out. I think Now You See Me, Now You Don't is amazing. So, Now You See Me,